Okay, here's that quick look at the speaker, and all these wires, maybe we'll be able to salvage them. We'll have to take a look and just make sure, but you can see there the marking on the speaker. It appears to be an F6R 8052 alpha, and then there's a 49, maybe an 81X stamped on it. And it looks like the impedance itself is listed here, or the DC resistance for the field coil was listed. Looks like 1,008 ohms or something. Can't really tell. And then you can see the output transformer's got some handwritten information on it here. And of course all the cobwebs here with it also. Alrighty, let me go ahead and get those fasteners removed, and I'm excited here. Let's see what this thing looks like underneath. Okay, I've got the 4 fasteners off now, and again I haven't looked underneath, but I don't want to cut these wires. I can probably open this up here and maybe desolder the connections here, but I'm going to go ahead and unbolt the speaker real quick from the cabinet as well, and see if we can't lay that off to the side and get this chassis out so we can look underneath here. There's just 4 fasteners here at the 4 different corners. Okay, cool. That takes care of that. Let me get this thing repositioned where I can pull the speaker out, then reset the radio up, and we'll pull the chassis out and check it out closer. Hey, before I move this, the speaker cone looks great, and if I can just keep from putting my fingers through it, which I've done before, so I'm going to be very, very careful. Looks like there might be one little small hairline crack right in that area. So that's good to see. Alright, let me get this off to the side here and get this radio repositioned here so we can pull it out together. Okay, we'll see how this works out on camera. I'm going to grab the transformer here. Again, I've got the knobs loose, and I'm just going to pull the chassis right here back toward me. Wow. Alright, looks like some type of spacer piece. Let me get this loose. So anyway, here's our here's the next chassis here to work on. Kind of push this thing back this way so it shows up better in camera. But you can see we do have a little work ahead of ourselves with the rust and crud. And the good thing is, though, that tuning condenser, the again, I'm assuming it looks like it is belt driven. I can see that here. It's kind of odd, though. I see a spring, and don't know if I've ever seen a belt driven that has a spring, so I'm not sure if the belt broke at some point and a repairman used a spring in between. So we'll take a look at that. That'll be interesting to see. Neat piece of history. So let me get the cabinet here off to the side, and then we'll flip this thing over and take a look underneath for the first time. Okay, let's see what we got here. Cross your fingers. Well, I've seen worse. It's part of that spacer material. Okay, hopefully that's showing up there under camera. Okay, I'll redo some of the lighting here. But this thing has definitely been worked on, you can tell. And some of the giveaways here will be these various capacitors. You can tell probably not original. Somebody has put an electrolytic underneath, unless that is part of the design, but doubtful. Because you can see here where this repair has been done. And you can see that was probably one of the ground lug connections here that went back over to this 8 microfarad capacitor here. And so we'll have to take a closer look at this whole design. This one looks like it's isolated from the chassis. Just looking at the, looks like there's a rubber gasket here, insulator, and that's common. So this one may float from the chassis ground. And I hate I got rust underneath here, and these potentiometers are and controls here. These control stems are really rusted up. So we'll have to work those over. A lot of rust here on the front, and like I said, you can see where this thing probably sit in some water at some point. And here's a candom resistor. So 1, 2, 3 sections it appears, or maybe 4, because there's another, unless that's just the ground. And of course you got these old resistors here also. So this one will take some time. But we'll get started by checking the field coil, the output transformer, and then we'll try to document the findings as well on the any of the coils and IF transformers. Make sure that they're good. And the cool thing is, since I've got a twin, we can, if need to, we'll pop it out and do some testing there just to compare. But a little messy. I've seen, like I said, I've seen worse. Hopefully that's showing up pretty well on camera there. And let me show you this. That's what I was talking about here. You can actually see this spring. I think I've got, let's see the tuning here. There we go. Yeah, check that out. It appears to be belt driven, but you can see right in this section right here that there's a spring. So I'd be curious if that's the way this thing's built. My guess not. That was probably just a repair that somebody had to do. You know, back in this time, money's tight, and you got to do what you got to do to make these things play and work again. So very creative. Alrighty, I think that's going to end it for this video. So you guys, thanks for watching. We pick up, we'll start doing some testing on the main components and see what kind of shape they're in. Start breaking this thing down and get some of the parts and pieces out. The whole the whole variable tuning condenser is going to have to come out. Like I said, it's a big rusty mess. So we'll start pulling off some of the main components, and I'll document their placement as well as how they fasten to the chassis, doing some photos and paper hand drawings as I always do. And again, we'll break that down after I start doing some testing on some of the main components. Hey, thanks again for checking this Zenith 5S29 out from the mid-1930s. Appreciate all my subscribers out there and you guys following my projects. Take care.